Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. Thanks for watching the show. I'm your host, Coach Tripp. We're on four-wheel drive. That's right, the great line for the Syracuse Orange back in the early 80s. We have two of the four members. Blaze Winterblow is an 11-year NFL vet, and he's gone crazy. Billy Pendock, my good friend from Liverpool High School, our teammate, and actually Timmy Green. That's right, the other part of four-wheel drive, him and Jamie Kimmel. And there's Jamie. There's Jamie right there. Okay. They were part of that four-wheel drive. And we talk about, guys, what do we talk about? Like virtues, crazy stuff, how to solve all the world's problems, or maybe just bring up all the world's problems.
Yeah. We're just making air.
Yeah. Hey, this is brought to you by Sandy Sansing Chevrolet. Go see them, Pensacola, Milton, or Foley. Go see a dealership near you. All right, guys, we got an interesting subject today. We're going to talk about fans versus fanatics. There's a big difference. Matter of fact, they're almost opposites. They're almost opposites. The difference really is in the attic, right? Fan versus fanatic, which is where you belong if you're a fanatic, in the attic. All right, let's start it out. Bama, not averse to fanatics, as we all know. Remember that nut job who poisoned Auburn's trees at Toomer's Corners? You know, when I went down to Alabama, at first I was a little alarmed at all the pom-pom and circumstance, but I came to respect, understand, and love the passion for college football that Alabama fans have. Billy, you were recently at the Ryder Cup and saw some pretty bad fans, really fanatics that have gone off the edge. Well, you know, they can blame it on alcohol or whatever you want, but they did some terrible things and said some terrible things to the European team and Rory's wife too.
Yeah.
Billy, talk about that kind of sad experience at that time.
It was it started out as a lot of, I know a lot of them. I talked to a bunch of European guys, and I know Luke Donald personally, and that's nothing but class for them guys. I mean, it's okay to cheer and boo, and that stuff, but it got to the point on Sunday where they just it turned into just an ugly showing of and it makes everybody from the USA look bad. I mean, you got people screaming, racial marks at the player's wife, throwing beer cans, the stuff that went on. It's just it makes you sick to be a fan, to see that. And unfortunately, it puts a black eye on a lot of people that do live in the U.S. because it's not everybody doing that, but that's really the guys that were involved in that. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should look in the mirror, and they're just scumbags. I mean, let's just face it. That's classless, and there's no place in sports where that belongs. And the stuff I seen was just sickening. So
yeah. But Blaze,
well, my thought is this: I look at this situation currently, and I ask myself, why not? I mean, if you're going to see this type of behavior almost every day on social media, almost every day in the school system, almost every day from the media, almost every day from almost every publication out there, and it's indirectly condoned as being, a part of life, then there's something wrong. Again, how are you raised and what is tolerated? How are you raised and what is tolerated? I mean, these people should never be allowed back into a stadium. They should never be allowed. They should be blackballed from every stadium there is, but they're not. They're slapped in the wrist or they're applauded for some reason. Yet people going into stadiums in the old days with a suit and tie on. The level of respect was suit and tie, just like going to the church or going to a movie. You respected the work being done. You respected it. And that was the main word we were raised with: respect one another. And now you have no suit and tie. You have women that are barely dressed. You have men that don't care and want to see down their beers until they're puking in the seats. And it leads to fanatical, crazy behavior. I really don't even believe it's about the team on the field. I think it's about the allowance to become destructive. The allowance to become destructive because, well, that's what this environment is. No, man, you're about being a fan of a team. You respect what that team would want. They wouldn't want law and order. That's what they would want. They would want to be safe. When this happens in the stands with fanatical fans beating one another up, all it is what? An environment of danger. Because one day someone's going to sneak in there with a gun or with a blade, and it's going to get very, very bad. And it can't be tolerated.
Yeah. Blaze, you reach up a lot of good points right there, man. And I want to reiterate a couple of them. Number one, it's condoned. If you don't have consequences, and it's condoned by kids that see their parents go off at like youth games on the referee or the coach or the kid. It's terrible. I mean, I see it all the time. I go to a youth game. Number two, they have no class. You talked about class. And Coach Bryant would come in and he would say almost every day, man, I could just hear him as clear as a bell. You show your class. He used to talk about knocking the guy down and helping him back up again. When do you see that? They just stand over him and taunt him and ridicule him and denigrate him and disrespect him.
That's not being a fan.
Hey,
That's not being a fan at all.
Listen, I got a text last month from one of my former players, and I stopped coaching about 7 years ago, okay? And he said to me, Coach, with all that's going on nowadays, I'll always remember what you said before games, to respect the other team because they're there for the same reasons you are, and you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. I would tell them my team. I would tell my team every single game before the game that note. And you know how many personal fouls my DBs got in 15 years of coaching? 1 or 2 for knocking somebody late out of bounds or something, an aggressive thing. They didn't, they never threw a punch. There's no class. You mentioned dress code. Coach Bryant one time, we were in, and I had somebody on my show, Tommy Wilcox, tell this story, that we were all out and some guys didn't have ties on. And so he made, before we sat down pregame meal, he made everybody leave the hotel cafeteria and go find ties. Where the hell we were going to find ties? We were asking people off the street, in the hotel, that if we could borrow their tie, even if it didn't match. We weren't coming back in that room for pregame without a tie. Okay, that's the other thing. Man, we could just go on and on.
But, one big example. 2 years ago, I was at a Pop Warner game, and it was a city school against a county school, and it started with the parents across the field screaming back and forth at each other. It ended up with 14 people being arrested for spraying each other with pepper spray, and it's incredible. And to Blaze's point, people, you look at Buffalo, people love this stuff. They're burning couches, they're burning things on. People condone that, and they love that stuff. This is the life we are now. Why is it you win a ball game, you got to burn your city down? Why is that part of a celebration?
Celebration, yeah. We don't know.
Yeah, it's really it's become so incredibly confusing with the term fan or bum. I mean, are you a fan? You're there to support your team? Are you a bum wearing the team's jersey? Because people seem to feel like you put on their jersey, I'm allowed to do whatever I want. If somebody's not wearing the jersey, I'm allowed to spit on them because somebody on the field is spitting at somebody else.
Right. Right.
The NFL doesn't tolerate it. The organization should make it clear to the fan base. You do this, you'll never be allowed in this stadium again, and you'll be shunned. I mean, we're worried about some lady stealing a ball from a young person, and we're out to hunt that lady down because she stole that little boy's ball. Well, hey, man, what about all these other thugs that are called fanatical in the stadiums that are causing people harm? This is not a boxing match. This is not, you're paying top dollar to go in there and watch professionals like Billy, me, Jamie, Tim play at the highest level. And my question is, are you really even watching the game? I mean, are you really even interested in the game? Because I really don't believe they are. I think people that are over the top have no idea what's going on in the field. They're probably wasted or high, and they really came there with a different motive. And most fans come to a game because they're motivated to see their Packer team, their Colt team do well. Most of them are great, but it's just like a school system. One or two will ruin it for everyone.
I know all you guys. I've always asked all the time, what team do you root for? What team do you watch? Who do you go? And I've talked to Paulie about this in length. I don't have any feelings of watching any more pro football. I don't even enjoy watching it at all. And college football, I used to love going to games here and there. You're sitting in a stadium. Now, let's face it, these are still kids playing the game.
Yeah.
And you got people all around you saying the stuff they're saying, throwing stuff on the field. And why do I want to sit there and witness somebody that played 2 years of high school football bitching about a kid that's trying to make the team? You know what I'm saying? It's just horrible to go watch ball games now.
Yeah, it's no fun. In Hamilton, when I was in the CFL, Hamilton, Ontario, against the Tiger Cats, our Toronto team had to keep our helmets while we were on the sidelines. Blaze, have you ever seen when you played 11 years in the league? Still amazes me, man, how long you played in the NFL. That's such an accomplishment, man. Did you
and Billy and Paulie, 99% of the fan base are awesome. They're really awesome. And we're not talking about those Packer fan, Colt fan, Charger fans. We're not talking about fans.
Right.
We're talking about people that cross the line because they're out to cross the line when they enter the stadium.
Right.
They have no interest in the game. And they wear that jersey and they say, well, I'm a real diehard. And if you ask them what happened on the last play, I don't know. It's because you're trying to spit on someone who's wearing a different jersey, or you're trying to get maybe your 19th beer in your system. I mean, again, you have to implement a rule system, and that rule system states not to break these rules. And if you are, you're going to be eliminated. Right. I don't know where we came to a point in our society where we hesitate about arresting criminals. I don't understand why we hesitate about arresting criminals. I mean, we're to a point where, hey, one side says let it happen, the other side says I'm stopping it. We should all be on the same page saying we're not allowing it in Buffalo Stadium. We're not allowing it here or there. I mean, Green Bay, I will tell you, they are one of the classiest groups of fans I've ever been around because they take care of one another. So if one person is acting out, they immediately get security and they say, please remove him. He's warned and then he's removed. And they've been doing that for years. Other places, there's a lack of security, and I think they have to put more people in security positions. And people might say, come on, man, I don't want to feel like I'm in jail. Then behave yourself, enjoy the game,
right?
Loud and boisterous as you want, but be respectful of who's sitting near you, who's sitting behind you,
right?
And let all learn to understand that, hey man, this is a great game being played by elite athletes that you don't see every day,
right?
So you can watch them.
Yeah, Billy, you talk about the West Virginia game was tough in college. Talk about some unruly fans there.
There's a lot of examples that I could sit here and we could all talk about hundreds of examples of. I know Blaze remembers West Virginia. You remember Temple. The guy going up in the stands. They were throwing keys at people. They were throwing water. They were filling up cans with piss and throwing down on the players. Stuff. It goes on endlessly, Paulie. We've all seen it to different levels, and the throwing the oranges in West Virginia. It went back and it's just progressed. But I think the biggest takeaway from this is what you and Blaze especially are saying about they're celebrating instead of persecuting these people that are doing this. But our society now, and to Blaze's point, and I did police work for 20 years, and I can tell you, our society now is there's no fear of nothing anymore. These people have no fear of nothing. There's no
consequences. They don't have to take accountability. They don't have to take accountability because there's no consequences.
Those are the worst communities and programs on the earth. Is when there's I don't have to worry about a thing. I can do the wrong thing and get away with it.
Right.
We have cities that way. We have stadiums that way. We have. There's almost this laughter over Philadelphia because Philadelphia's become known as, oh man, you better be careful going in there. Well, someone let that happen, and someone now thinks of it as a joke. It's, what about those poor people? You ever see these incredible hundreds and hundreds of videos of people beating the shit out of one another in a stadium? And it seems like, there's this massive joke. You ever see the faces of the people that are not involved? How frightened they are, how upset they are, how worried about their children they are. It is so wrong that a few people are doing this. I remember, Billy, in the West Virginia, the Temple game. I remember what you, I, Jimmy, and Tim did. We said to coach, we'll go over there and take care of you. We were literally going to go up there and remove these people that were supposed fans of what? Ours? We were willing to remove them. I'm going to tell you a story real fast. Back in high school, at Tappan Zee High School, true story, there were people breaking into parents' cars. Well, there was a couple of us on a football team that went around in the school during the day, during our free period, and we addressed these people with, don't you dare touch those cars again, because we knew who they were. And it stopped. It stopped because we were, hey, man, don't mess with us. And it's really up to the athlete, I think, to say, hey, man, we don't want this as part of our stadium and fan base. We want fans that root us on, support our cause, support our charities. No one's supporting, let's beat the shit out of one another.
Well, that's the last thing I want to talk about before we end the show is these fans that rush the field after a win. Now I can honestly say that in the 40 some years I've been associated with Alabama football, I don't ever remember our fans rushing and tearing down our goalposts because we won a game. Now, I've seen it dozens and dozens of times when they beat us, other teams beat us. Oh, Katie bar the door. We're rushing the fans. It's a stampede. We don't care about anybody's safety. I mean, what is up with rushing the fans and tearing down the goalposts? I don't understand that.
Respect for property, right, Billy? No respect for personal property. No respect for people's territory, their property. None. That is what it is. It's an invasion of property with the fear of, look at me, I'm on somebody else's property and no one's arresting me.
Yeah.
How can it? That is what the feeling of euphoria over the fact that I'm invading someone's property that I'm really not allowed to be on.
Well, Billy's seen more criminals than we will ever see in our lives. So, Billy, you can't reason with unreasonable people, right?
No, it's just a lot of it now is there's a lot of copycats out there. You talk about rushing the field. You got people sitting next to you. They're looking at each other. Should we do it? The guy next to him jumps. They're going to jump. And this is what's going on in society. This is why social media is taking our society right down to shit, because all these people are copycatting and doing the shit that other people are doing because they think this is the thing to do. And it's all on social media, rushing the field. You see that? I was on the field that day. That was me over there. I was hanging on the goalpost.
They're all holding their phone up, Billy. They're all holding their phone when they're down there. They're all holding a post and trying to get a viral hit.
There are no leaders anymore. Everybody are followers now. I watch it all the time, every day. There's nobody stepping up and being a leader. They all want to follow, and that's what society has done.
Well, that's next. Maybe we'll next week we'll have somebody on that maybe has some solutions and can talk about the psychology of it. Maybe a sports psychologist with somebody that can address this problem and have solutions to it. So maybe we'll do that.
Right, Paulie and Billy, we love fans. We love people that cheer, boo referees, bad calls, good calls, get mad, get glad, get happy, get sad. I mean, we love that. I mean, it makes the game great to have real fans.
Right.
In there with alternative motives, getting ready to ruin someone's life or not care about the game at all.
Well,
they're not even.
My last word is, you talk about the biggest loser in this thing are the young kids, bringing those 9, 10, 12-year-olds to a game. Yeah. And they're somebody's throwing beer on them. Somebody's doing the shit they do because they're assholes. And that's the reason I don't want to go watch any more of these sports. I don't want to be there. I don't want to witness that. I don't want to take my granddaughter to a game and have her get beer thrown at her because somebody's going to end up in the hospital, and that's not going to be what I want to do.
No, I agree.
All right, guys. Well, we're talking about not going to games. I think we're in a few weeks. We're going to SU Miami game down in Miami. I've never been to Miami, so time to go. Plus we could. I would like to go see Coach O'Leary too, Blazer.
He's. I believe he's heading up for celebration of 1990 with GT. He's deserving of every bit of every athlete he receives, he deserves. O'Leary is a special dude, and he knew how to get it done, and
Yeah.
you know, he would agree with a lot of what we were talking about today, man. The programs have to set the tone for how their fans behave.
Right. Absolutely. Thanks, guys. I love you guys.
All right, guys. You take care.
Have a
All
great
right, man. We'll see you later.
See you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Wow. Interesting subject, fan versus fanatics. What is the difference? Thank God 99% of them are fans. There's only 1 or 2% fanatics that try to ruin it for everybody else, right? Rotten apple spoiled the whole bunch. Anyway, thanks for watching Coach's Corner 4-Wheel Drive show. Stay tuned for these great messages. Without these sponsors, this just wouldn't be possible. Thanks for watching, everybody. So long.
When it comes to buying your next car, truck, or SUV, you need a team that puts you first. Here at the Sandy Sansing dealerships, we're proud to serve Pensacola and the Gulf Coast with the best selection, trusted service, and deals that work for your family. Just like great coaches build great teams, Sandy Sansing builds lasting relationships with every customer who walks through our doors. Because when it comes to finding your next vehicle, there's only one name to remember. Sandy Sansing can.
That's you trying to fix the plumbing yourself to save a few bucks. Doing things yourself doesn't always end well. The same goes for insurance. That's why Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and offer discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance. Because sometimes you need a professional to get the job done right. That's simple human sense.
When it comes to buggies and golf carts, nobody does it like Buggy Works. Hi, I'm JP Wibbs. We've got the largest selection of golf carts on the Gulf Coast. We have a brand new 10,000 square foot state-of-the-art service center and showroom to keep you rolling. We're right here in the heart of Car City at 5831 Pensacola Boulevard. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays 9 to 3. Check us out at buggyworks.com. Buggy Works. Come by and see why we're the #1 Denago dealer in the nation.
My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We sell fun for a living. Cordova Lanes is located at 2111 Airport Boulevard in Pensacola, behind Cordova Mall. Come on out and see us at Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Thank you.
For 30 years, you have seen the orange Beck signs all over the Gulf Coast listing a property for sale or lease. Beck Partners is your trusted advisor in commercial real estate, property management, commercial and personal insurance. Senior Vice President David Valletto has been with Beck Partners since 1989. Take advantage of his wealth of knowledge by calling him today at 982-7352, 982-7352. Extensive experience in all aspects of leasing, sales, management, and site selection will make sure your expectations are exceeded. Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
75 years of service and high tech today. It's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348. High tech is a term often applied to advanced services and products in today's marketplace. And today, glass is much more than a simple pane of brittle, see-through stuff we hit baseballs through when we were kids. Glass is now a product with unique flexibility in both performance and application. And Pensacola Glass Company is growing right along. That's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348.
There's a reason why Hill Kelly in Pensacola is the #1 selling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer between Jacksonville and New Orleans. While other dealers have taken advantage of a competitive market with higher prices, Hill Kelly has discounted prices to the lowest of the year. And Hill Kelly in Pensacola won't surprise you with excessive charges beyond the selling price. Come see why people from Milton, Pace, Foley, Bay Minette, Daphne, Gulf Shores, Mobile, and beyond are driving to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to buy their next next new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. At Hill Kelly, the bottom line price and your satisfaction are what really matter. So before you sign, check the bottom line and make the trip to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to see what true local ownership can do for you. At Hill Kelly Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Highway 29 in Car City, Pensacola. Or shop online 24/7 at hillkellydodge.com. When it comes to bottom line pricing, nobody beats a Hill Kelly deal. Nobody.